Welcome back to our fifth and final part in the Partnership and Joint Venture Tips video series. Here we're going to be discussing how to establish a meeting routine. And it's very important to have meetings and to make sure that you're in touch with your partners at all times. Although that might seem a little bit overkill or boring sometimes, you got to do it. Communication is the key. You want to make sure that you always understand what's expected of you, that your partner understands what you expect of them. And if there's more than one partner, it's really, really important because now you have lots of people in the mix and things get confusing, right? People's perceptions of how a meeting went can change, or they may just forget what was expected of them. But if you stay in touch and you talk on a regular basis, these problems are going to be avoided, at least most of the time. Most problems or partnerships or joint ventures fall apart because of lack of communication. There's no excuse for it. When there's a small partnership, 1, 2, 3 people, maybe 4, there's no reason why communication should be the downfall of that partnership. So make sure you take care of that. And how do you take care of it? Right by this bullet I just put up on the screen. Schedule and lock in meeting times, ideally every week. Some projects may require that you do it multiple times a week. Other projects are not as busy, maybe every second week. But the key is to have a time that everybody knows and it's locked in. It's usually on a predictable schedule. So it could be every Monday morning at 10 a.m. we have a conference call. Or every Friday at 5 p.m. we get together at the pub for a beer, bring our notepads and go through it. But we make sure we're going to be covering this and we're meeting at a specific time, location, with deliverables in mind. If everybody locks in, then you're going to stick to it and it won't even be a question. If you leave it as sort of this wishy-washy thing, yeah, we got to do it each week, but we'll just kind of figure it out based on our calendars, and forget it. It's not going to happen. Or if it does, it won't be consistent, and that will begin the beginning of your problems. Now, whenever possible, record your conversations. If it's a phone call or Skype, super easy to do with software. If it's an in-person meeting, you might want to grab a laptop and just hit the record button on a little recorder if you can. At the very least, have somebody record some minutes, write down the key things that are in there. But record as much of these conversations as possible because, like I said in a previous video, you'll forget a lot of the conversations that you had. If it's recorded, you can always revisit it, which is very key. You also want to make sure that you set meeting objectives. Each and every time you meet, whether it's a conference call or in person or whatever, set objectives and define deliverables clearly. What are the objectives of today's meeting? We need to advance a project. We need to solve a problem. We have an angry customer, or we have a big problem in the software we're trying to build, or can't get the publisher to push our book through, whatever. Make sure that you know what the objective of this meeting is. You've got an hour to do it or 90 minutes or whatever your time frame is. Make sure that that objective is met by the end of the meeting. And at the end of the meeting, what are your deliverables? What are you supposed to be doing? What's your to-do list coming out of this? And what's your partner's to-do list? Is everybody on the same page? Or did you leave the meeting just kind of chatting about a few things and chatting about a few problems, but no real solutions? You see this happening all the time, and it's usually the downfall of a lot of partnerships. People talk about the problems, discuss what we're going to do, but nobody actually takes responsibility for each piece of the solution. Having clearly defined deliverables and that nothing is left to chance. Nobody's second guessing what's going on here. Everybody knows exactly what they're needing to do and what they have to do by the next meeting. Very, very key. Here's something I recommend if you use a lot of technology, if you have an online business, especially important. Use something like Evernote, which is a note-based system that saves your notes into the cloud, and you can use shared databases. So you can have an Evernote that's basically team meetings. And you name each meeting after the date and time of the meeting took place. And then you can document each person's deliverables or to-dos based on the meeting. So it's Monday, it's 10 a.m., September 15th, we chatted about this. Okay, person A is going to do A, B, C, and D, and it's all to be done before our next meeting next Monday. Person B, A, B, C, D, E, all to be done before the next meeting or whatever. Maybe some of the things need to be done by today at 5 p.m. State them all in there, put them in that Evernote, and then when you go to the next meeting and you're setting objectives and deliverables, now you can review the previous meeting to make sure that everybody is on the same page and doing what they said they were going to do. If you're partner A and you're bringing your A game and you're doing everything that was expected of you and you did everything you said you would do, and partner B did nothing, there's a problem. But now at least you're identifying the problem right away in your first meeting or your second meeting. And you're not waiting until right before your project goes live or the project's already making money and you've got customers and now you're realizing that this partner is somebody that's horrible to work with. You catch this stuff early on and you can have them correct their habits, or maybe you need to get out of the partnership. But this is usually a great litmus test. Who does what at the end of a meeting? Who comes back to the next meeting with everything finished? Hopefully all partners play the same role and bring the same A game to the table. And if so, then you're going to be set. So in summary, it boils down to communication. A properly structured and documented meetings will, it may seem boring, but it will be the absolutely most pivotal point of your success in your partnership. If you understand what you need to do and your partner understands what you need to do on an ongoing basis, and you're committing and following through on those commitments, you will be set. Even if the project fails, no one will feel slighted. Everybody knows that the other person did what they expected. They did what they could do to make it succeed. And sometimes things just aren't going to work out. There'll be no hard feelings. If there are problems, then you can identify them by the things that happen in these meetings. If your partner is not bringing that A game to the table, you see it happening early on and you can take corrective action to either fix it or get out. But either way, it's going to save you from a lot of hassles in your joint ventures and in your partnerships. I hope this 5-part little series has helped you give some ideas and give you some new strategies when you go into a partnership. I wish you the best of luck on your joint venture deals, and here's to your success.